Alrighty, traders. This is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Daily Roundup webinar. I hope everybody's having a great trading session. So it's kind of messy today. I've been looking at the dollar Canadian, picked up some in the 60s, but we're near our lows right now as we're approaching this, what I think is channel support. And I'm not really comfortable with it, not until it gets above 132.80. That's pretty clear on what needs to happen in order for it to make a rally back to 133 and change. I'm just kind of watching the dollar Canadian right now. Like I said, I'm not very aggressive at the moment. I don't want to be aggressive right now at all, really, ahead of the election. If you're following the Aussie dollar, I took the Aussie pip off because we hit the 38% retracement. You can see the 38% retracement of the bounce here. With the RBA tonight, I'd rather try to pick up the Aussie dollar on a dip, especially if the RBA does some QE and the Aussie dips down towards 70 cents. I might be more of a fan of buying the Aussie down there. Now, if you think about that, remember, as these central banks are supportive, buying the dip in a currency might be the best way to go, because the initial response might be, oh, we sell Aussies, RBA is doing some QE, but they're being supportive of the Australian economy. So therefore, buying that dip might be the way to go. So I'm going to watch the Aussie on any dip back towards 70 cents tonight during the RBA decision, which is in about 10 hours from now, roughly. So it's just something to think about for those of you that are trading it. Euro's been trading heavy all session long. It has just been very heavy. The Aussie here, or excuse, I said the Aussie, the Euro here, as you can see, is trading almost towards trend lows at 116. I think the risk is that we make a move back down towards 115.50. And that's quite possible. So just remember the Euro's trading heavy, and that dollar strength could make its way through other markets. One other thing that I'm paying really close attention to is the US dollar Mexican peso, which the dollar Mexican peso rallied right into resistance. This 21.50, I think a break above 21.50 would be quite bullish, but it might be also a signal of risk off too if we get it. That's something that I'm going to be paying attention to, not necessarily today, but following the election. And let me just say that our blog post, I'm so irritated about this. Our blog's down completely. Like, it's down. Like we've got emails into customer support. If it's not fixed, like by today, we're actually going to put it in an email and send it to all of you guys that are on our email list. So, and obviously you guys listening in will be, getting an email. So just be on the lookout. If we don't tweet about a blog soon, we might actually just put it in an email and try to send it out to you. You might be asking, why haven't we done that already? The problem is when we put that much or that many words into a blog post, then it gets into a spam filter. And then if we get hit with as spam, then that goes against us when we're sending out emails with our email provider, because our email providers, for those of you guys that don't know this, and this is something I learned actually, email providers are very they're sticklers about that. If you're sending what they see as spam, they will flag you, and then they'll limit the number of emails you can send out. And obviously we send out a lot of emails with our alerts that go out for ForexAnalytix, because people get support and resistance levels triggered or a new pattern in play triggered, and you'll get an email alert for a lot of your currencies. So we can't send out spam. We send out too much spam, or what's seen as spam, and that goes as a ding against us. So just it's not as easy as, oh, just throw it in an email and send it out to everybody. I wish it was that easy. It's just not. But guys, it's going to be choppy between now and tomorrow evening. Just trade carefully, be safe out there. Don't get yourself in hot water. The scenarios, I'm going to, tomorrow during this webinar, I'll be talking a lot about, I'll probably do an extra amount of time on, the different scenarios. And like I was just reading a piece from Morgan Stanley and then also from JP Morgan. And, most banks are really looking at this as being a bullish case scenario for the election as a whole. But I will tell you what I think is the bigger risk is that we go into a contested result because, Biden declared a winner, but maybe it's not by a huge margin. And then, and then President Trump, contests it. And then the stock market might initially be, enjoying a positive response and then turn negative right after that. And that's what I think is probably like a very realistic scenario. And the other risk to that, guys, and just I'm being very frank here, is if let's just think about this for a second. Like, let's say we get a Biden win, right? So Biden wins, and whether you believe it or not, I'm just let's just say the polls are correct this time around, and Biden wins. And we get let's say we get the blue wave, which everybody's talking about, right? Stocks start to rally. We get the news. Stop. I love it when people just walk up to my house. So we get this rally, and then when we get a rally here, hold on, guys. I'm sorry, I got somebody at my door. So when we get a rally here in equities, okay, if equities rally and then all of a sudden you get this contested result, the markets are going to reverse. You're going to see a move higher, and then as soon as it's contested, we could get a reversal. And I think that's a real risk for election night, and that's something that the point I'm trying to make here is, and the point I made in our blog too, is don't get too comfortable with what you're seeing in the markets on election night. If you get into a trade, make sure you try to get your positions to a break-even point, or move your stops up to break even, take some profits as quick as possible, because things can change in a heartbeat in this environment. Okay. So yeah, I just want you guys to think about that as we move into election night tomorrow. Like I said, tomorrow's daily roundup, I'm going to be a little bit more long-winded after I get all of my thoughts together going into election night, because I'm still gathering information, but I think it's pertinent information, trying to get my hands on as many bank reports as possible and what people are expecting going into election night. So I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you guys had a nice, long, restful weekend. And remember, tomorrow or the next couple of days are going to be really volatile. It's quite stressful. I mean, if you were living here in the United States, I have to admit, it's a very, very stressful time to be an American. It is. I mean, the risk of social unrest is quite high. And it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you fall on. Both sides have there's some very extreme views out there. If you were out running around this weekend, there's flags flying all over the place. People are honking. I mean, it's pretty. You can feel the tension in the air. All right. So if you guys are in the United States, I'm thinking about all of you. All right. For those outside the United States, I'm sure you're going to be popping some popcorn and watching things unfold in the next couple of days. But I'll be here reporting live to you guys every day and trying to keep you guys on track. So you guys have a great one. Thanks for tuning in. Tomorrow should be a good one. It'll be a little bit more longer daily roundup. Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great one.